For months, I had felt it, the subtle shift, the cold shadow creeping over our marriage. Every laugh from her sounded like a rehearsed line. Every touch felt distant, as though she was retreating from a life I believed we had carefully built together. I tried everything, talking, reasoning, even pretending nothing was wrong, hoping the invisible cracks would somehow heal themselves. But deep down, the uneasy feeling gnawed at me until suspicion hardened into certainty. Our marriage was unraveling. It was on a quiet Thursday evening that the moment presented itself. She mentioned, almost casually, that she was going out for dinner with a friend, her favorite Italian restaurant downtown. Something in my gut tightened. I asked for details, trying to disguise the rising alarm, but she simply shrugged and offered that infuriating smile. The same one that had once melted me from the inside out. In that instant, I knew this was the moment to confront the truth, to make her face the consequences of the life she had been living in secret. I didn't want shouting. I didn't want tears or begging. I wanted reality, sharp and undeniable, to land squarely in front of her like a mirror shattering into countless pieces. At home, I printed the divorce papers, the ink still warm on the page, the words staring back with a stark clarity I couldn't ignore. My hands shook, not from fear, but from a mix of anticipation and relief. I folded the papers with care, slid them into an envelope, and tucked it discreetly into her purse. I knew she would bring it. Then I left, carrying a calm that belied the storm of emotions roiling beneath the surface. By the end of the night, nothing would remain the same. Her text came around 8. On my way, see you later, Red Heart. That heart, which once meant everything, now felt like a cruel mockery. I didn't reply. Instead, I made my way to the park across from her restaurant, settling onto my favorite bench. From this vantage point, I could observe without being seen. I sipped my coffee slowly, pretending to read a book, though my eyes never left the door. I waited. When she arrived, she was radiant, wearing a black dress that hugged her figure, laughing freely at something her companion had said. A jolt of envy mixed with sorrow stabbed me. This was the woman I had loved. This was the woman I had trusted. And now she was here, alive and laughing with someone else, while I sat hidden in the shadows of the life we once shared. My stomach churned, but I reminded myself, this was not about jealousy. This was about truth. I watched until she bent to retrieve her purse, the moment I had prepared for. The envelope brushed her fingers, subtle, unnoticed at first. When she finally pulled it free, confusion flickered across her face, quickly giving way to disbelief and then rising anger. She tore it open, her eyes landing on the papers, the words she had never imagined seeing in this context. The weight of reality struck her hard, like a cold blade. Her gaze darted around, searching, then settling on me across the street. I was there, silent, observing the collapse of the life she had taken for granted. What is this?" she whispered, voice trembling, defiant. I stood, moving slowly, letting the space between us fill with the gravity of the moment. "This," I said, my voice steady, "is the truth. Our marriage is over." Inside me, a storm raged, but I kept my tone calm. I continued, to ignore it. I tried to believe that you loved me. But tonight, it became clear, you don't. Her hands shook as she clutched the papers, glancing at her companion, who had stopped mid-step, sensing the tension, sensing the fragility of the world she had constructed. This is ridiculous," she stammered. "We can fix this." I shook my head slowly. "You've been living a lie. Laughing with him, texting behind my back, pretending everything is fine while betraying me. This isn't something that can be fixed. Not tonight. Not ever." Her lips moved as if to protest, perhaps to beg, maybe even to cry. But no words came. The weight of the envelope in her hand was heavier than anything she could say. I stepped closer, but my voice remained calm, almost tender. "I'm not here to humiliate you. I'm not here to yell. I'm here to make sure you understand that I see everything now, and I will no longer be a part of it." Tears streaked down her cheeks, raw and unrestrained, but they did nothing to lessen the truth. If anything, they underscored it. Her companion looked unsure, uncomfortable, hesitant to intervene. But this was no one else's battle. It was ours alone. I turned away slowly, each step deliberate, reclaiming the fragments of myself that had been eroded over months of betrayal. The laughter, the restaurant, the deceit. They faded behind me, replaced by a profound silence that was at once alien and liberating. Later, her text arrived, short and trembling. "Please, we can talk. I didn't mean for this." I didn't respond. Some fractures, once deep enough, can never be mended. Some truths, once revealed, can never be unseen. The divorce papers were more than ink on paper. They were the final curtain, the undeniable testament that love cannot survive deceit, no matter how polished or beautiful the lie. As I sat alone in my apartment, a quiet settled over me, strange and welcome. Betrayal has a way of not only destroying trust, but also dismantling the version of yourself that believed in forever. Yet within that rubble, there is clarity. There is freedom. Tonight, I walked away. Tonight, I reclaimed my life. And for the first time in months, I felt a fragile, yet unmistakable sense of peace.